We are back at it with a brand new DnX podcast with the boy Doc and myself. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. All right. We're going to talk about Doc's Cali trip. How was that?
Sure.
And then we're going to talk about Motocross the game, in-game footage that got released a couple days ago. We're going to talk about that.
Yes.
Some breaking news regarding Motocross the game, which should be out by the time you guys watch this podcast.
Yep.
And then sponsored riders that we're going to be sponsoring next year in IRL. So stay tuned for the very end. If you guys want to see more of these podcasts, make sure you guys hit the like and sub button. And make sure you guys hit the sub button on Doc's channel as well.
Sure.
Don't remember the last time he posted a YouTube video, but
actually, it was 1 hour ago, 54 minutes ago, actually.
I'm slacking because I did not know that. So
before that, it was 13 days.
So there you go.
Before that, it was 13 days.
He's definitely slacking 2 a month. That's got to be the life. That's got to be the life.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just kidding. But let's hop into the Cali trip, man. Bro,
sure.
From everything I saw on Instagram, you made me jealous as hell. All right. First off, PC. Okay.
Yeah.
Second off, shout out to Bogle. Shout out to Wade. All right. That's I hate you.
It was amazing.
Third off, O'Neal. Your story that I saw on TikTok.
Yeah.
Race Tech, obviously.
Yeah.
Kellen.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in Arizona, like I hate my life.
So yeah, we flew to the whole reason we were in California was we flew to our main physics guys from Europe to the Race Tech seminar, which they do like a couple times a year, where they basically just do like a crazy deep dive suspension, everything suspension. They have a dyno that they run suspension on, they have hands-on stuff, they have just like millions of years of knowledge there. And so we sent them there really just more to not necessarily learn as much as acquire data.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just there to kind of document a little bit and shake some hands and say hello. And it was awesome. We got there. It was wide open though. It was like they flew in late on Friday night. And I flew in middle of the day Friday night, get the car. I had to get things ready. I was basically their chauffeur the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So I flew in earlier, got everything situated. They flew in that night. Then Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, we had to get up and go to the seminar. And from that point, it was literally like 8:30 to 6 p.m. almost the entire week. We were there for 8 days. There was 2 days they had off, but it was 6 days of 8:30 to 6 p.m. They were in class learning and gathering data and just grinding.
You weren't part of that. That was just a physics team, right?
Yeah. I could have. They said I could have been a part of it. I'm gonna be honest. It was definitely over my education level.
I was gonna say that would be over my head too. So
they were on the last day on Friday. It was kind of my most mellow day, and it was the most the class was called Advanced Physics for Suspension or something like that. No, I'm not. I would have literally no, I don't know. So I filled my days with meeting people. Like you said, I met with Kellen or Start Your Systems. That was really cool. I've been watching him we all have been watching Kellen for years, right? And watching him really be the first one to bridge, real life and gaming and do all of that. And so it was really cool. We actually we had lunch and we probably talked for 2.5 hours where we just sat there and talked. And we have so much in common. We're both ancient human beings and old and have kids. And
same. Oh, I don't have kids. I don't even have a girlfriend, but I'm old. So
that got sad real quick. All right. I know that you have maybe 0.1% of your YouTube analytics that say that they're female. So,
it's got to be more than 1%, maybe, hopefully.
Right.
Probably not.
But is many.
It's mostly
in the grand
male.
scheme of things.
So,
sure. Anyway, so Same though, don't worry. So we hung out for a while. That was really, really cool. Just I don't know, talk life, talk content, and then the game, and from you know, just algorithms. And it was just obviously we have it reminded me of you, where we have so much in common in so many different fields where there's just lots of conversation to be had. So that was really fun.
Honestly, those are like the best conversations. Like me and you,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we've had multiple hours upon hours of just conversations about everything. And those are honestly my favorite conversations like to have because
Yeah.
like you said, we have so much in common in like the field. And so like bouncing ideas, bouncing off one another is just it honestly feels amazing to be
Yeah, yeah.
fair.
And then that was Saturday. Sunday, I don't remember what I did. If I'm
I
being
think you
honest,
went
I'm
to
trying to.
Paula.
No, no, that was not. That was a different day. Sunday, I don't know what I did, but then Monday, the boys had Monday and Tuesday off because the class just had a little bit of a break. And so Monday we had to shoot up to O'Neill, and Alex Ray gave us a tour of their whole office facility and their shipping facility, and kind of let us just see everything O'Neill, everything One Industries, and everything OGO. So that was really cool. Their
That
office is
pause.
sick.
That's all of those three are combined.
O'Neill is the distributor for One and OGO.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I thought they're
Yeah, yeah.
three separate companies. That makes more sense.
They are. They are.
Yeah,
O'Neill just distributes for them.
gotcha.
But so their offices were somewhat combined, and
Oh,
so
okay,
there
okay.
was OGO stuff, One stuff, and O'Neill stuff. We were really there for O'Neill. It was the big O'Neill building, which was really cool. Their office, it was we were staying in Riverside in Corona, which I
Okay,
don't know if
yeah.
you guys, yeah, wherever.
Pause.
Oh, I remember what I did on Sunday. I went to Glen Helen.
That's I see. I thought it was a track, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
Glen
it
Helen. You
was.
went to for the vet
Yeah, yeah.
nationals.
We went up there for the Vet Nationals. This was the first time I've ever been to Glen Helen, and everyone
It's
says on
massive,
TV that it's insane, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's insane. It
dude.
was
The hill is
gnarly,
insane, bro.
and they let us. I was kind of surprised for it being a more sanctioned race. We were pretty much able to get right, like I mean, like on the tough blocks, and
Oh
so I
yeah,
have some cool footage of like Talladega turn where there's 40, 65-year-old man just absolutely wicked, just
yeah.
going for it. But it was cool. They had some fast guys there. Michael Essie was there.
Wasn't
Um,
Villapoto there? Maybe he didn't do it this
mm,
year. I know he's
I
done it
didn't
before,
see
but
him. I didn't see him on the gate or anywhere. I would assume there would have been a crowd. There were some fast guys there. I'm trying to remember who just retired. Oh, Nicoletti was there, and he
oh,
was
that's right, that's right.
barking.
Yeah,
Looked
he's still
very, very
basically
good.
a pro. Let's
Yeah,
be
yeah. I mean, he
real.
looked like he hadn't skipped a beat, right? He was just absolutely
Yeah.
flying. It was cool to see Trevor Stewart won on the
Okay.
Stark though, the pro class,
Okay.
and he did it in leather pants, which was
Gotta do what
hey.
you gotta do, man. Gotta do what
Yeah,
you do.
it was like a designer shirt and leather pants, but he was absolutely ripping.
Maybe he
Uh,
forgot his gear, man. Maybe he forgot his
yeah,
gear.
and I think it was a choice. So then that's what we did on Sunday. Then Monday we went to O'Neill. That was like 2 hours up from Riverside.
Okay.
So then Justin Bogle texts me and is like, "Yo, we're going riding today, and we're going to Hemet if you want to come down." And so Hemet was like 3.5 hours south from where we were at O'Neill.
Sheesh.
So we finished that. And so we jumped in the car and just ripped down there and got there. And it was literally the track was closed, but they let Justin stay. It was just Justin and Eddie, his mechanic, and then us. And that was the coolest thing. I don't know, maybe coolest motocross thing I've ever experienced. Just being, I mean, we were standing on the tabletops where he was going on. Like there was two tabletops where he was going on. And we were just standing there, and he said, like, you can see where I'm landing, just don't stand there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, I mean, I could have just stuck my hand out and he would have high-fived me, and he was just on. Dude, it was really cool. And we were able to just walk around on the whoops and over the, jumping over us on the soupy triples. And like I've been on supercross tracks before, but I've never really been on one with somebody of his caliber. And he was really barking that day.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's
and it was just
he's doing Arenacross,
awesome.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah.
thought I saw his name.
Yeah, he's doing the E class. But I mean, and then like I said, he's on the Stark, obviously. And so that was mind blowing because it was like quiet, and he'd come out of a corner to triple in, and you can like hear the wheel hook up. It was
Okay.
really strange. It was sounds I had never heard before in a motorcycle. And like you could hear it spin and then you could hear it grab and you could hear the forks bottom out in the rhythms. And, it was really cool. Just he did like 7 laps and then we had to go. So we drove 3.5 hours for like 7 laps. But
Hey, you
it
got
was
footage.
cool.
You got footage.
Yeah, yeah. We got footage and we hung out. And then I think that night we went to dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to sushi, which was, man, sushi's so good on the West Coast. It is so mid over here. And then yeah, Tuesday we decided we would go. They were going to go ride Paula or Fox, and so we were like, oh well, we want to go do some things. It was really Tuesday was the guys that were with me from MTG. It was really their last free day for the rest of the week. And so they wanted to go do some touristy things, some, go see LA,
Go
really,
to LA, go to the beach, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. So in the morning, we were like, all right, let's get up early. We'll hit Fox and then we'll shoot up to LA and we'll, do whatever. So we did that. We went to Fox, which I had never been to that track either. That was pretty sick. And there were some Cowie boys out there. McAdoo was out there. Um, I want to say Hammaker was out there, and they were all in 450s.
Yeah, it's pro day. Tuesdays are pro days.
Yeah, they were ripping. They
Yep.
were ripping. They were ripping. Nobody had any style though, other than Eddie and Bogle. Bogle, they were just like, there's that big step up. They were just like saucing up the whole time. But yeah,
But
McAdoo
how'd you like
was.
going into Paula?
Yeah, that was. I did not expect that. You go way down the canyon
Yeah.
and everything. I had no idea it was like that. I
Yeah.
just kind of thought it was LA and everything was flat. But
Oh,
that
first
was
time I
cool.
went through that, bro, I was like, not necessarily scared, but like, I was also scared because
Yeah, yeah,
it's like blindside corners and like super
yeah.
early in the morning. You got like some fogs and like, yeah, it was definitely scary at times, but yeah, that was pretty interesting how you get there.
That's the same thing with Hemet, that Supercross track Bogle originally took us to. It
Okay.
was like in the middle of nowhere, down some canyon, and I was like, man, did he? And he gave me an address, like a pin drop address. That wasn't like an address; it was just a pin. I'm like, man, are we going to the right spot? And it was way out in the middle of nowhere. It was very GTA vibes, like where like out in the desert. But yeah, Fox was sick, and McAdoo was absolutely ripping. It's ridiculous how fast that they go.
It's
And
insane.
then we went. The guys wanted to go see Los Angeles, like where the stars are on the ground.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
Walk of Fame. Okay, that was a mistake. So we
It's
drove up
so
there.
crowded.
No, it's disgusting.
Oh, well,
Like
that is too. Well, I mean, yeah, that
it
too, but
was.
like it is crowded.
It was cold for for SoCal. It was like 65 degrees, so everyone was. We went to Huntington Beach. It was dead.
And people
There
don't go
was.
to the beach at 65 degrees.
Well, they wanted to see the
Oh, yeah,
Pacific,
yeah, yeah.
So we went to Huntington Beach, and it was dead. There was probably 25 people there. It was ridiculous. I had never seen Huntington Beach
That's
without
crazy.
5,000 people on it. Um, so that was cool. I don't know. We walked on the beach. I don't know. I just let them go in the water. I called my wife, and they walked, and then we left. And
Basically
then we
sums up the
went.
beach.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. And then we went into LA. They wanted to see Beverly Hills, so I drove them through Beverly Hills and was like, "Yay, money!" And then drove back into. We went to Rodeo Drive, drove through it just so they could see the stupid place, and then ended up at like in LA on the Walk of Fame at night,
Ooh.
bro. they were both like, man, we've been to a lot of cities in Europe. This place seems dangerous. I was like, yes, like not my favorite place to be ever. Like, let alone, I mean, we're three larger dudes, probably fine. But would I let my wife walk from point A to point B on this street right now? Not a chance.
Yeah.
Like, not a chance. And also, it smelled like someone took a 5-gallon bucket of, yeah, it smelled like pee. It was really bad. Just
I'm amazed that
a
area is
whole,
not more like spiced up because of the Walk of Fame and everything like that. But
dude, you go to like Boston, which has a ton of touristy historical things. That city is spotless and nice and feels safe. LA is, well, it's California, so
true, very true.
kind of just, that's just the way that it
Arizona
is,
is on
you know.
top.
Sure.
Hey, I mean
Of the
they're coming from California to Arizona, so
yeah, I mean, yep. Anyway, so that was what we did Wednesday, and then we drove back, and then Thursday they were back in class, and Thursday I went down and I watched Bogle test with Enzo,
okay.
which was super cool.
Enzo
And then in
Lopes.
no Enzo, the
Oh, the
suspension company.
suspension.
Yeah,
I'm an
that was really
idiot.
cool. No, it's fine. And like, I don't know if it's Mr. Enzo, but the founder of Enzo was there, and so just got to chit chat with him for a while, and that was really cool. Learning how his logo, their logo's like a dude with a flat bill. It's like a person, and I always wondered
I said it
where
was
they got
Enzo
that logo.
Lopes, bro.
Yeah, so you're
I'm
garbage.
jogged, bro. Like I don't
You're
know.
absolutely cooked. Well, their logo is like a dude with a flat bill, and I always wondered what a like odd logo. Well, he ended up telling me that basically it was an album that he liked or something, like a record when he was younger, and people kept asking him for a logo, and so he just ripped it. And then eventually, when he started growing, he said he got a lawyer and was like, "Oh, is this bad? Like, I ripped this. I just kind of traced it or whatever." Well, that company before had ended up going like out of business, and so it was fine, and it was now his logo, and it's just
That's
stuck
funny.
ever since.
Hey,
It
there
was
you
really
go.
cool. Um, but then yeah, watching Justin test was really interesting because that day there was a bunch of privateer 250 guys. The AEO guys were out there. Some of the other, I don't know, I would say back of the pack 250 guys were there testing or
Okay.
riding. And so he was there, and it's crazy how in tune those guys are with their bikes. Like, buddy, they completely took off the forks and the shock, rebuilt them in the back of the truck in 10 minutes, put them on the bike. He went out and rolled. He jumped one rhythm and came back, and they completely took everything off again and put a whole nother set on. I mean, he knew immediately.
That's crazy. That's
Like,
a professional versus an amateur right there.
literally went out, ripped a triple in, which the funny part was I was watching everyone because he was like 45 minutes behind me. I got there early, and I was watching all these AEO kids and everyone else jump this rhythm, and they were double tripling or something, and nobody had ripped the triple. And Justin's literal first lap, I think this has a lot to do with the Stark too, plus he's the GOAT, but just comes in and rips the triple in, and they were all sitting behind me because apparently they all pulled off the track for whatever reason when he got on, and they were all sitting behind me, and they're all like, "What? Like he just rips it his first lap, you know?" And there was 450s there, and nobody else hit it, and then he ripped that triple in, and then literally went back to the truck and was like, "Ah, no, I don't like this." They ripped the forks off, ripped the shock out, did a bunch of stuff, put it back in, and then he'd go out and do a few laps and then come back and, okay, we're going to try a different shock. And so that was really cool. I've
That's
never really
crazy.
seen the testing side of things. It seems exhausting, to be honest.
I've
Like,
seen like posts on Instagram like for testing days.
yeah,
Off the top of my head, I think one was like Adam Cincerella. He was like, "I've been here since 6 a.m. It's 6
yeah, yeah,
p.m." And I'm like,
yeah.
those are long days. I don't know
And they did like
how long Bogle was there for, but like
a long
6
time.
to 6 would be that's a long day.
Well, it's hard too. Like they're 12 hours. They probably do like 10 laps. Like they don't. I mean, maybe at the end they start putting some laps in, but I mean, for at least for Bogle, he did 2 or 3 laps, and then would go get adjustment, and then come back and do a lap, and then get an adjustment, and then they'd water the track. So then they'd take things off, and then it was just. I mean, it seemed like wow, this would take forever, but it was a cool experience to be there, listening to them talk, and um, you know, and then for MTG, it was cool to really ask them questions on feedback for games that they're currently playing and things that they'd like to see in future games. It was just really so much data from Motocross the game's perspective that would be else impossible to get just
Yeah.
directly from the source, whether it was race tech or professional riders or Enzo or even talking with the gear companies was really, really cool, and getting information from them. And then, so anyway, after that, after I watched them test, then I went up to Pro Circuit and they gave me a private tour of the whole facility, which
That's insane.
was insane. Like,
Yeah. That's nuts.
I didn't even yeah.
Were you
I
allowed to
mean,
take photos inside PC?
oh yeah.
Oh, I bet
There
you got a
was
lot.
there was a few spots where they said not here, nothing past
Yeah.
this door, which basically was where the race team was.
Yeah, probably doing
Because
stuff for that.
because
Yeah.
I walked in and there was all kinds of cool things. I couldn't even tell you what it was, and I said, "Can I take a picture?" And he said, "Absolutely not." Said, "Sounds good." I wanted to make sure before I whip my phone out because there's a lot of cool stuff right here.
That's funny.
and he was like, "Oh, honestly, it's probably all fine, but there's like tons of prototype stuff, and
Yeah.
if we didn't put it away or it was cool. They had some really cool prototype things that they showed me. Like they had like a full A kit set for an 85 that never made it to the public that they made for I think Jet Reynolds. It was
Okay.
like had all the blue on the forks, and it was sick. I mean, but it was like this big,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a little tiny. It was pretty cool. And yeah, they were really, really kind. I didn't get to talk to Mitch. He was in a meeting, but it was cool.
Great.
They showed me they had this desk and it was just full of parts with like a little work area. And they're like, "Oh, that's Mitch's desk." And like, "Oh, does he tinker on stuff a lot, And they said pretty much if he's not in a meeting or, something CEO-y, he is always working on parts. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, what do you mean? Like new parts or development or for the race team?" And they said, primarily for the race team, but a lot of the time, if he doesn't have anything to do, he will just go get a customer's order and do it. And I just
Okay.
thought that was super. I was like, does he sign it or something? Like, is there any way? Like, imagine, you just send in your suspension and Mitch does it,
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool as someone that, it's Mitch Payton and he still just is humble enough to be down to earth enough to work on maybe your suspension, I thought that
Yeah,
was
that's
really
pretty
cool.
sick.
Um yeah, that was really cool. Just seeing everything, and I took a bunch of pictures, and it's like a shelf, and maybe I can send this to you so you can put it on the screen, but it's like a shelf and it just has a bunch of boxes full of shocks and stuff. And if you just glance at it, it's like, oh, that's a bunch of random boxes. But if you look at the names on the boxes, it's like Axel Hodges, Cameron McAdoo, Adam Cincerulu, like I was like, oh
That's
my gosh.
crazy.
I was looking around, I'm like, wait, that says A Hodges, that says Cincerulu,
Yeah.
it was really cool.
I mean, that's so sick that you got a tour just PC as like
Yeah.
that's almost one of I say like you're growing up, you always want to have like a PC bike or something like that or go to
Yeah,
PC.
yeah.
Like that's a dream come true to some people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So That is freaking awesome. All right. That is so
Yeah,
sick.
it was awesome. I was super blessed to just be treated that way, and they were so kind, and it was cool to talk the game with them and talk dirt bikes with them. Like, I don't know, like you say, I mean, for me it's a dream come true in a different sense of growing up. I had always been paving or in construction, and I always loved dirt bikes, and I always wanted to be, man, I wish I could work in the industry somehow,
Yeah.
and but how am I going to do that? I don't know, and then standing there on like official business in pro circuit was, I don't know, it was pretty cool.
Look where you are now, man.
Yeah, I
You
don't know,
are.
it was pretty cool.
That is so sick.
Yeah,
It sounds like the Cali trip was a success from just as a point of view from gathering data, right, with the team,
yeah,
with
yeah,
Race Tech, meeting people, but also just as a team going and building that connection with one another, right? I mean,
yeah,
you
yeah,
already know a few of them. You've been in person with a few of them, but also you haven't. So
yeah, yeah.
it sounds like to me that you got a good group of data there, but you also had a good connection with everybody.
Yeah, it was really good. Race Tech really went above and beyond for us, and we're really understanding, because the seminar is full of people of really all different walks of life. Chris Bloss was in there, um, just random people that want to start their own shop, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
to mechanics for pro riders, and then there's us with a game. And while it's very similar, the application is obviously different.
Yeah.
And so they were really, really understanding and really, really in tune with that, and worked hard to give them examples on maybe how it would translate, or it was just, they helped a lot. Plus, they basically said any dyno data that we want, they'll give it to us for engine, suspension, anything,
That's
weights,
crazy.
and like literally. So that data will be simply invaluable in the game.
Yeah. I mean, just going there and going to those classes is going to be invaluable, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like you're gathering so much data, but also you're gaining so much knowledge just regarding IRL stuff and how it's going to translate to the game, talking to the gear companies, talking to the pro riders, talking with Race Tech. It's just going to help motocross the game down the road. Just it might not help today, but
sure, sure.
365 days from now, it might do something tremendous, right? So
It was also a big morale booster, I think, for us. Like you said, getting together and meeting one another, and we were all sad when we were going home. I mean, we were all like, man, like, I don't know when we're gonna see each other again after spending 8 days with each other. But
yeah,
also, like, for the three of us to see, it's one thing to sit behind this computer and create a marketing plan of this game that we're very passionate about, that we want to put out there. And then, okay, cool, it got this many views or this many comments or this many saves, like, awesome. But then going to O'Neill and having Mr. O'Neill say, wait, are you the guys from Motocross the Game? We were like, yeah. And he's like, dude, our office in Europe was calling, like, what is this? We, get a
that's
hold of
sick.
them, kind of a thing, and then even when the guys were in the Race Tech, the seminar, they said that they had people from the seminar, oh, dude, we saw that, asking questions, and everywhere we went, even at Pro Circuit. When I went to Pro Circuit, the guy asked me who I was, and I said, I'm Chauncey with Motocross the Game. The dude was like, dude, I saw that, we're so it was anywhere we went, somebody knew about the game. And it was really cool to realize, like, it helped put it in perspective for me that, oh, like, we're we're in there,
Yeah,
big time. And it isn't, I mean, I knew it, but the numbers were insane for our opening weekend or opening week, but it's just different. It puts it in perspective. And, um, it's like, I know that I have a big following and you have a big following, but when somebody, comes up to you and asks for a picture, it changes
Yeah,
everything.
I saw a couple of those from Paula. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
those.
Okay, the funniest part about that is that kid, he was super cool, by the way, and he was ripping, came up and asked for a picture. The funniest part was he asked Justin Bogle to take the picture. I was like, dude, photo cred Justin
Uh,
Bogle is insane. You know what I
that's
mean?
funny.
Like,
Yeah, that's funny, man.
absolutely no way.
Shout out to
But I
Bogle.
just mean, yeah, and he was cracking up. I text Justin the day I went home and was like, dude, nice to meet you. Like, nice to solidify our friendship in person. And, we're actually friends now, and that's really cool. And he said, man, I'll never forget that kid asking me to take a picture of you. Like, like highlight of my month.
That's
I was
funny.
like, imagine being like, yeah, here, can you take a picture? It's
Yeah,
just,
no, that's funny. Shout out to that kid.
yeah, he was really cool.
But yeah, like seriously, all of the information that you got from Cali, it just makes me more excited for the game, man. Like seriously, knowing that you put that great marketing plan together, and now everybody is aware of it. I mean, you got PC guys, you got O'Neill guys, you got Race Tech, like a bunch of pros, obviously with the marketing and stuff, but just having that word of mouth also, and not necessarily
Yeah.
just views of clips or anything like that, but just word of mouth is going to be tremendous. And from my point of view, just looking at it from that, like, bro, this game is going to be huge because of how
Yeah.
much there's going to be collaboration, hypothetically, with say O'Neill or Race
Yeah.
Tech,
Yeah.
obviously with Race Tech now, but you know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah. With
mean.
Drake, for
So
sure.
I think it's going to be insane. So
Yeah. And I think the thing that I think we're doing different that nobody else has done, and I think is making the biggest impact is we're there.
yeah,
We're in the industry. We're at the track. We're talking with the riders. And I've heard from sources that almost any mainstream motocross game has been invited to that seminar, and no one's ever taken it. And I I mean, to me, it's mind blowing. Like, what,
I feel like that's a
And
must, right? Just to understand the physics or you say physics for the game, but also just understanding suspension and
how a
how it works
motorcycle
and how
works.
it can
Yeah,
translate to physics for a video game.
yeah, yeah. I think we're really making an impact by being a part of the community. And this is something, I mean, me and you have talked about with our own brands, right? Like community, community, community is the only thing that matters. And branding, community, and what is it built on? And I feel like we're doing the right things by being involved in the real life thing. And obviously, we have the gaming side, I feel like covered pretty well with a lot of our audiences, but being hands-on and deeply involved in the real life aspect of motocross is and supercross is something I haven't really seen before, and I think it's going to make a really big difference.
Yeah, and that's I think it's going to be huge, right? Like we've always talked about bridging that gap. And I think,
Yeah, yeah,
as you mentioned earlier in this episode, Kellen was really one of the first to do that with Starter Systems, like bridging the
yeah,
gap between video games and IRL, and taking a role at Racer X and doing all that fun stuff. And I think we're on a similar path as Kellen, and a similar path, but also different in our own path, right? And
mhm,
being more in the IRL scene is only going to help, say, motocross the game, but also only going to help your community, only going
yeah,
to
yeah,
help my community. It's going to build up our communities to a different platform and reach new people and reach people that you didn't even think was possible, right?
yeah, yeah.
Which for me, I'll talk about in a little bit with sponsored riders. So, yeah, I think it's, and as you mentioned earlier, it's invaluable. A lot of the stuff that
Dude,
we've been doing lately is just invaluable. Putting the effort in and talking to people and stuff like that is just invaluable. I know I said it like 4 times in a row, but it's
sure.
right.
I mean, that's a great word, and like, it's crazy to me seeing how much motocross the game's social followings are growing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, our Instagram account's been, what is it, 2 weeks? It's at 20K almost.
About to
And
pass me, bro. What?
man, slow down a little bit. I've been working on mine for like 2 years, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, and it's not even just the growth. but the people, Ken Roxon followed and has been liking and commenting and and then the off-road side seems to be really interested as well. Destry Abbott and all kinds of people.
You know what's funny about that? I've had so many comments on just our clips, but also like other clips, like make sure Enduro Cross is in Motocross the game, make sure this is in the game, and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't know the answer, right? But I thought it was kind of funny.
I think Enduro Cross, or just GNCC Woods Enduro Cross is a pretty slept on genre. There's a huge audience there.
I mean, there is a huge audience. I posted 5 clips in a row, over 1 million. So there's a huge audience for Enduro Cross. I mean, a huge.
I know that the Woods Enduro side of things sells more bikes for the manufacturers than motocross and supercross. So from a manufacturer standpoint,
I did not expect that, to be honest.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like you got to think most people that buy a dirt bike, and even Pro Circuit said that their most popular pipe was like a TTR 125.
That's crazy. I would have never expected that.
Think about all the country boys in Kansas.
Yeah, but like I still wouldn't have expected that. Like,
little CRF 230 action. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but that side of the that's like the casual scene, right? You get a bike with a headlight so we can get ducks.
Yep. I feel like motocross, like there's different genres within the sport, right? You have enduro cross, you have motocross. Supercross is literally like a percentage of everything because not a lot of people do supercross because you have to be almost a top amateur or someone that's consistently racing as like an amateur in the amateur scene to even do racing like supercross. Because I know like Mini-O's has like a supercross race, right? But it's a small percentage. And then you have GNCC, Enduro Cross, like so many different avenues. And honestly, it makes more sense now that I think about it, why those bikes sell more, because you're mentioning in the woods and the country and stuff like that compared to just motocross. But that is still surprising.
You think about like I know in Cali we had District 36 was like our GNCC, our amateur GNCC thing. Dude, there'd be like 700 people signed up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then you do like a Hangtown amateur race. There's still a couple hundred people, but that's from 450s to 65s or 50s right? Where GNCC is like mostly 250s, 450s, 125, somewhere in there. I don't know.
It's very, very interesting.
Pretty cool.
But to wrap this whole segment up, California was a success. All right.
Huge W.
We got to see so many awesome photos between Doc and Bogle and Motocross the Game clips at the track. And honestly, it was, from my point of view, looking at it, huge W, great success.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited to see how that race tech seminar translates to the video game. I'm very, very intrigued to see. And maybe if the Motocross the Game is listening, which Doc is, we can have maybe an article of how it can translate to Motocross the Game, how that seminar can translate. So
way ahead, yeah.
I didn't know that before I started talking, so so be on the lookout for that. But all right, but with Motocross the Game, we have a couple things I want to talk about. First off, in-game footage got released. Shout out to Checkers. I know he was pushing it really hard, and then Nico released it. So that was pretty freaking sick. There was it was like 3 or 4 photos of the compound. Bro, it looks amazing, man. Like it looks real life. It really does. Unreal Engine 5 looks insane. Obviously, we didn't get like, I would say, clips or I don't know, in-game footage of like riding or something like that, but that's still in progress, right? But the compound looks absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Just the boys doing what they do,
It's
just cooking.
It's incredible.
I don't really know how else to say. I mean, yeah, they're just cooking. And I don't know, at the time of recording this, there's some things coming out tomorrow that make those pictures look even. I'll just put it this way: if you haven't seen them, like go to Motocross the Game now. Their stuff because their socials. It should be on there. If I didn't tell you that it was a game, you wouldn't know. Like if I texted to my mom, was like, "Yo, track day,"
she would be like, "You riding again?
Like, be safe," Like there's no way she would know.
That's right. I might put it if it comes out tomorrow. Photos might be in this podcast. All right.
Yeah,
so you guys can see.
There.
The game looks the in-game footage of the compound at least looks incredible. Shout out to the boys for doing some amazing work over there. But
JB doing JB things.
Yeah, that teaser made me excited. I'm not gonna cap. I know it's just a little teaser in-game, but still, man, it's super, super exciting. But let's get into some real breaking news here. All right. Doc has some news about Motocross the Game that he would love to announce. That's probably already been announced. So I'm going to re-say that for the clip. But Doc has some new. Gosh, I can't speak now that we're trying to make a clip from the podcast. But Doc has some news regarding Motocross the Game that is huge. So Doc, take it away.
So we have officially partnered with AMA Arenacross, and what we're doing is starting round 1, which is here in a couple days from the time we're recording this. In MX Bikes, we will be doing official AMA Arenacross series for 2024, and those tracks will be in the base game of Motocross the Game when we ship it. So like there won't be a DLC or anything like that. And then we will continue to move forward with Arenacross and do the future seasons through Motocross the Game, which will be the official, gaming partner of that.
That is insane, guys. That is absolutely insane. All right.
Yeah. Really cool.
That gives me hope for some exciting stuff down the road, if possible. Because if you can get Arenacross, and that's already, part of AMA, what can you guys not get? You know what I'm saying?
It opens a lot of conversation. Put it that way.
Exactly.
There's a lot of opportunity there, and I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. It's, there's tons of comments I see of people hurt from previous games from, maybe this isn't actually happening or whatever. And man, we just sent people from Europe to Cali, and now we're officially partnering with Arenacross. We're making moves, big moves.
It's happening, guys. Like it's happening.
Yeah. And we're excited. It's a big step. It's been a lot of work and getting everything sorted out and organized and put to the right places and making sure that we're able to continue with that while we're still continuing with other things has been, honestly, I love that side of business. The organization, the project management side is something that just fascinates me. So I've been having a blast, but yeah, we're really excited. It's been really, really cool. And we're excited to officially, I guess by the time we've recorded this, it's already announced, and yeah, super excited.
But the opportunities down the road is going to be insane. I think just from this, collabing with Arenacross, right? And just to think about this for a split second too, if I'm not mistaken, Arenacross almost was like dead, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago, and then I think they started to work with AMA to get a full series again because it is extremely popular regarding riders that participate. I believe they're going to be like a start class. I'm pretty sure like a start class, E-class. So yeah, just the opportunity with Motocross the Game and Arenacross collabing is huge, but also the opportunity down the road of any other type of. We were talking about this a split second ago. Enduro cross. What if there was a collab with GNCC? Because there's no GNCC video game out there. You know what I'm saying? So imagine, I know it's going to be kind of hard to build those maps because I feel like that always changes each year, right? Of the layout, but just have a generic layout of the GNCC series would be insane too. So the opportunity could be there.
yeah, I'll it opens a lot of doors. Let's put it that way, you
Look
know,
at
and
his
even
smirk. Look at his
yeah,
smirk.
no, it's there's a lot of cool things. I mean, even yeah, there's a lot of brands have to sign off on that, which really just gets us in the door conversation with them, and it's just a insane opportunity that obviously we were all over when it came up, you know.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be sick. And as this comes out, we're gonna do a watch party for Arenacross that I was already going to do before I knew this news. So
Yeah.
now it's awesome that I can talk
Yeah,
about that. Or I guess I don't have much information besides what Docs just said, but
sure.
we can talk about that. It's going to be a collab and stuff like that going forward. Question: when will those? Do you know? Might not know yet, but are those Arenacross track for bikes coming out on Friday, or is it going to be like a week after, or is it going to be
No,
down the road?
it should be right in line with the real,
The real
you know, with the real life stuff.
is it going to be similar to what
Because
like Supercross was last year, where we had like a week delay just because building
mhm,
the map or whatever?
no, because we're making track previews for them.
Okay,
So I'm not sure if they'll be used
that's
on
breaking news. You
yeah,
just can you
yeah.
re-say that?
Yeah,
Re-say that
so
again.
we are making the track previews for Arenacross that they'll be posting on their Instagram. I don't know if it's possible they'll be using them on the TV broadcast. Um, if they are, it'll be my lap.
I was
So
about to say, are you doing the lab? Because you got to be doing the lab.
I think so. Yeah. That's that. Yeah.
Bro, can I get on one of these laps, bro? Like, I'll go against you. Can
You
we have a 1v1? Like, I
you
might take you out,
use
but
the 18 OEMs.
don't judge me for wanting to do cool stuff, okay? I'm
you use the grippers, you know?
Hey, don't judge. All right, don't judge.
You're grippy.
By the way, a lot of people, it's the free ride bikes, okay? Not, but I didn't
Uh-huh.
reinstall the old OEMs. I'm not going to cap.
Mid.
But that's actually so sick that
Yeah,
you're
super
going to have the
exciting.
preview lap, and yourself potentially is going to be doing the preview lap, dude. That is ridiculous. Like, I know it's only for like Arenacross, okay, but I remember a couple years ago we tried to do, or I guess I want to try it. Like, what was it? Stone, I believe it was working with Roto and trying to get laps out for that Supercross for Roto to
Yeah.
use on his videos to talk with Supercross riders and basically doing an analysis, right?
Yeah, remember
Um,
Linz did a lap on something?
yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah, I
I don't know
remember.
whatever happened to that. I don't think Roto even makes videos anymore. I think he's just behind the scenes at Racer X. But I mean, from that going into being the official one is just insane, and that's
Yeah.
super freaking excited. I better see that on my on the broadcast on Friday when I watch this. I'm gonna be like,
I
"That's
hope
Doc.
so.
That's Doc."
Yeah, I hope so. I'm not sure there's hoops, and I'm not sure if it'll be on the broadcast, but Arenacross will definitely be posting them on their socials.
Okay. I guess that's awesome for now for the watch parties because that's sick.
I might be at it's possible I'll be maybe going to some of them as well.
That'd be sick.
Should be sick.
I'm pretty sure I haven't looked at the schedule fully. But I'm pretty sure there's an Arizona Arenacross at Prescott. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure there is one. So
There's
potentially,
4 rounds in Reno. I do know that.
well, yeah, that's like back-to-back days. So we're just doing the first day.
So there's 2 days back to back in Reno, and then like a month later they go back to Reno for 2 more days.
As long as there's racing, that's all that matters.
Reno on top, you know.
But yeah, that's super freaking sick, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna make me want to do a little bit more watch parties before the Supercross season because I think there is a few rounds before coming up in the next couple of weeks. So next month. So
Yeah, there's a race this weekend.
well, yeah, no, I'm gonna do it on Friday, but then we got Paris on Saturday, so I'm gonna do that, and then Paris on Sunday morning, so I'm gonna do that.
Eddie Wade,
Mhm.
Justin's mechanic or teammate is racing Paris.
Oh, okay, sick, awesome,
Yeah.
someone to root for.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's this weekend, Saturday, I believe 2 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. So we'll do a watch party, and then there's like a 2-day event with Paris as always for some reason. So then the next day is like Sunday morning at 6 a.m. So I'm gonna do both of those. I know there's also Australian Supercross this week, but that's at midnight, and I'm like, do I want to go to bed and get up, or like, so
you gotta watch Shane win.
I know, man. I know, but
he's working.
It's midnight, bro, and I gotta wake up at 6. I gotta wake up at 5:30 because I gotta get the broadcast going. But anyways, be on the lookout for the watch parties. But last topic that I want to talk about today, and this is kind of goes back to a little bit what we talked about a little bit ago, was building communities and building our brand. And I have been lucky enough to build to a certain point where some people have noticed, and I reached out to a few different pro riders, and we are sponsoring a few different pro riders this upcoming season, man. First off, we're sponsoring Scott Meshy. So shout to Scott. He posted that on IG already. I am also sponsoring Dayton Briggs. I know he just signed for a team for this year, but I'm actually going to help him out for Mini O's and AZ Open. So that's huge. Might actually go to AZ Open this time because now we're sponsoring someone.
You should. So Absolutely.
I'll probably be there at least one day when he races, which I think is like a Sunday.
Outside,
I was outside early. I ran. Okay.
Okay.
We are also sponsoring Logan Leitzel. So big shout out to him. If you guys didn't know, Logan is a sim pro, I think technically.
He's been looking good.
Yeah. It's honestly so sick to see, like, the sim. I guess it's so awesome to see like Logan play video games in such a sim and then still be a professional rider. And we are able to help him out in any way possible, which I think is absolutely insane. And then also we're helping out just a tiny bit with Kevin Morans, and his team. So
that's a W.
That is a big fat W, baby. Honestly, I just hit up a bunch of people and I was like, yo, I'm trying to be in the IRL scene. How can I help you? And they were like, well, let's make it work. And that's what we did. Yeah. So
I went to Hemet on one of the days, and Dayton was supposed to be there, and I had an exhibit shirt on, and I was going to go talk to Dayton Briggs and introduce myself and say hi, but also be like, look, it's exhibit. And then I got there, I guess, right when he was leaving. So
Dayton, how could you do that? All right.
Yeah, I tried. But
how could you do that, Dayton? But yeah, so overall, it's honestly awesome to see, I would say, Exhibit's logo in the IRL scene. All right. Like,
yeah, it's sick.
One of my dreams growing up was to be a professional rider. I'm sitting on my ass all day. That's not happening, right? So the next best thing would be having your own brand inside the IRL scene, which I never thought was kind of possible, man. Like, I was talking with Doc about this, I'd say not a long time ago, a few months ago. And I was like, man, I think it would be super sick to get the logo out there. And he's like, bro, just start DMing people, man. Just start DMing, man. That's all you got to do. Is what's the worst they could do? Say no? Like, I mean, that's true. Yep. So, but yeah, so I thought that was honestly super sick. And that kind of translates to what I kind of want to do next year too with content. Like,
start your own team?
Absolutely not. That's not happening, man. That's way too much money. All right. I'm not. If I won the Powerball, I still wouldn't do that. I would just help another team that's already there. So
Exhibit Racing featuring Jet Lawrence and Eli Tomac on Ducatis.
If I win $1 billion, I'll pay it. All right, let's be real.
You heard it here first.
But no, like, kind of like translates to what I kind of want to do for content purposes a little bit. Like, I wanted to get my logo and be more in the IRL scene. As you guys know, we already do watch parties and reactions and stuff like that, which is honestly huge. There's not too many people that do these, like, reactions, at least live reactions. There's always people that post clips after the fact and stuff. And there's a few people that do watch parties, but I want to take it up a notch. I want to do content for it, like do the reviews, do the predictions, stuff like that. And I think it's an avenue. I was talking with Colby on his podcast, actually, that's coming out. It's an avenue that nobody's really taken in the sport, at least. Obviously, there's podcasts, there's talk about the races. But I feel like there's not a lot of podcasts that, like, do live reactions or They do predictions on a weekly basis, like every single Wednesday. There's going to be predictions and stuff like that, right? So I feel like, although I love video games, I feel like this is what I've always kind of wanted to do, and I even tried, I guess, talk about the races in video game aspect a long time ago. It just didn't work out, and as Doc mentioned, you just got to take the risk. Like, you just got to risk it for the biscuit, and that's what's happening here. And I'm super excited because, one, we have Exhibit logo on professional athletes' motorcycles racing in stadiums that we all want to be, right? That's ridiculous, bro.
That's
like,
super cool.
That's so freaking
really
sick. Cool. So be on the lookout for Exhibit logos on bikes.
It's cool because I don't think they would just have anybody either on the bikes, so I think it says a lot about your, ability to build brand and to be respected in the scene. And so, yeah, it's super, super cool. And I think just keep doing it, next year, do the same thing or try to step it up a little bit and, get the helmet,
That'd be sick. Yeah. A lot of, like, for example, Scott, Kevin Morantz, obviously Logan kind of already knows who I was based off because I did sim a little bit, but and then even Dayton Briggs, man. I feel like all those motocross content creators, like yourself, myself, Troy, Linz, everybody, if you make content, everybody kind of knows who you are, like as an acquaintance, not really an acquaintance, but like just knows who you are. So when I reached out to them and they were like, bro, I love watching your stuff. I love watching your clips and stuff. It makes you feel a little good inside, like, hey, like they know, right? And to be able to work with these guys, it means a lot, honestly. It means, like you mentioned, like, I don't think they would do it with anybody, right? So it definitely means a lot. And for me too, I really just wanted to get the logo out. Like, right? I wanted to get that publicity, I guess is the right word, publicity or something like that. I'm not a freaking marketing guy. I don't know about that stuff. But
you got it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I just wanted to get the logo out. Like, I just wanted to get people to see the logo in different areas of the sport. And so what Doc said, next year we could do more riders and we could do more riders and we could do more riders. And it's kind of what my goal is. I always said if I ever won the Powerball, I would help privateers and stuff like that.
Sure.
So
just if you go to as many of those races as possible, in your area, and you put a face with the logo, and you go shake some hands and say hello, it'll do numbers for you. Whatever your investment was, you'll have 10 times that on opportunity,
And we are officially going to Phoenix Supercross with the boy Doc. So
I totally bought my flight.
He definitely needs to do that because his ticket's already bought. So definitely need to do that. But
we'll be there. We'll figure it out.
But we are going to Phoenix Supercross, so we are going to do like an in-person pod. So that's going to be sick. But also, I kind of want to do little interviews with Kevin Morantz, with Logan. Actually, I think Logan's racing East Coast, so not Logan. But Kevin Morantz, Scott Meshy. Hopefully, Dayton does West Coast. Maybe we could do a little interview with Dayton. And what I mean by that is just like TikTok stuff, like going back, asking questions and stuff like that. I think it would be huge. Like you just mentioned, put a face to the brand. It's only going to do you wonders. So
we got to make sure that you for sure have a media or like a media pass. Well, media might be hard, but like a industry.
So I actually already talked with Kevin Morantz, and he was going to help me out with getting those like pit passes where you can stay before and after.
Yeah, Thursday, and an industry.
So we're going to talk.
Okay, yeah.
So I think it'd be. I mean, if we can go like press day, that would be sick. So stuff like that. Well, I'll get that on the works. We'll get everything situated for that. But
you do that and go early race day when they're all coming in, easy to talk to, and then you stay after. Yeah.
Big brains up here. So that's kind of, I've been holding on to this for a while actually, for at least over a month.
It's been like 4 pods.
Yeah, it's been a while. But I didn't want to do anything just yet because we had so many breaking news come out, man. To be fair, we had Motocross, the game, new OEMs, all that fun stuff, California Trip. But yeah, so be on the lookout for Exhibit logo on bikes in the future. Also, thank you guys for allowing me to be in this position, right? Because without you guys, none of this would have been possible, right? Even I even think with Doc too at the same time. Like without you guys watching our stuff, liking our stuff, sharing our stuff,
sharing it, yeah,
we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing this podcast. We wouldn't be posting every 14 days. Like it just happens. So
okay, buddy.
Bro, you know the
We're
last time I posted, you know the last time I posted was our pod. I don't even know how long ago that was. Was that 14, 13 days ago? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, same. You know, I post one right before I went to Cali, and then before that, it was like a week and a half too. It'd been like 11 days, and then it's been 13 days. I did post today, but yeah, we gotta fix that.
I'm almost kind of keeping it as like a little vacation towards the end of the year, to a degree, a little bit, because I know for a fact we're gonna be busy next year. And so with everything coming up next year with what I want to do and what I want to accomplish with the channel, we're going to be busy. So we've been grinding in a way that's called Call of Duty instead of actually making YouTube videos. Well, I have, not you, but yeah.
I mean, I played a little bit. I'm level like 20, you know, or 30 maybe. I don't know.
I have all main primary guns gold, so I'm a nerd. At least I'm not like Linz. Shout to Linz.
I was going to say Linz. I don't know what to say. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he said he was max prestige or something.
Bro, that's crazy.
If
I can't believe he's max prestige, bro.
If Linz comes out and wins SMX, everyone else needs to quit. You know, like
that is true.
But
that's coming up. Isn't that coming up?
Yeah, that's this weekend. I'm pretty sure.
That's this weekend.
Yeah. So I told my wife like a month ago that this Friday was a great day to go on a date, and we booked a babysitter. And then I got home from Cali. It was like right before the Cali trip, and I was checked out and, you know, real busy. And the babysitter was like, "Oh, what's a good day?" I'm like, "Yeah, that'll work." And then I got home and we were at church, and the babysitter came up and was like, "Oh yeah, so remember on Friday we're gonna watch your kids." It was like, whoops. But I would rather
date video games.
Yeah, we're going on a date for sure, 100%.
I knew that the SMX series was coming up, but I didn't know it was this weekend, or maybe this weekend, next week. I don't know, but yeah, I mean,
someone's supposed to send it to me soon.
All in all, we rambled on for about an hour here, and honestly, I love talking, man. I love talking with Doc about stuff, man. I'm glad that he had a awesome California trip. Next time, hopefully, he goes on vacation is for Phoenix in February, I would assume.
There's
potentially
stuff before that, but yep.
You guys don't know about that. You're just going to Phoenix.
Yep.
But no, all in all, awesome California trip. Awesome in-game footage from Motocross the Game. Motocross the Game collabing with Arenacross, absolutely massive. And then us sponsoring as an exhibit brand, us sponsoring Pro Riders this upcoming season, which is pretty freaking sick, man.
Yeah, so huge.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching our stuff. Thank you guys for watching this podcast and enjoying this podcast, liking the podcast. Last podcast over 130 likes the last time I checked, which is huge. So thank you guys very, very much. This is, I forgot to even mention at the beginning of this pod, this is also on Spotify and Apple Music. I forgot to mention that. But it's also on Spotify and Apple Music. The links will be down in the description below for you guys to check out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. Doc, glad that you're back safe. Get on the freaking grind, okay?
Yeah.
For Call of Duty, not bikes.
No, not Call of Duty. We need an energy drink sponsor, dude. That's all I'm saying. We
need a sponsor for the pod.
An energy drink sponsor for the pod.
We need an energy drink sponsor for the pod. That's what we need. Anybody's watching this far, if you guys are, that's crazy. But if you guys are, hit us up. All right? But yeah, so with that being said, appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for the love on all of our stuff, and we'll be back here next week.
Peace.